Hey guys, good morning. Joe Madden here, the Joe Madden Sports Podcast. Joined this morning by Joe Osbourne, sports betting analysis of For Vegas Insider. Joe, good morning.
Hey, how are you on this fine Thursday morning?
You know what? I'm in Calgary, Alberta. The sun is shining. We're going to have finally nice weather today. How's it going in Halifax?
It's going pretty good. It's t-shirt weather here now, finally. So we get 3 months of that a year, maybe four to be generous. But yeah, it's going pretty good. A bit of a light morning today. Of course, no NBA. A few spots I like in Major League Baseball. A little bit light though, so a little bit of a light morning so far overall. So it's going pretty good.
You know, late mornings are needed every once in a while. We know come the
Indeed.
fall, everything is going to be completely swamped in the morning, Joe. But before we get into any of the games going on right now,
Yes.
let's talk your story into the industry.
Yeah, so maybe a bit of a typical story. Coming up, I wanted to get into sports media, something a little bit more traditional. I always envisioned, being on Sports Center or being the sideline reporter or something like that. So I decided to pursue that type of career, and I studied broadcast journalism in school. And after I graduated from that, I worked at a radio station and I didn't really like it too much. So I went back to school and did public relations, which I'm very happy I did because it taught me to be a much better writer and much better storyteller. And out of that, I ended up doing a bunch of marketing and PR jobs. And I really didn't think the sports thing was going to work out for me.
Yep.
And I was doing a bit of a little blog on the side, just something as a little bit of a hobby, just a big focus on fantasy football and UFC, things of that nature. And it was kind of a situation for me. I was in the right place at the right time. A company called Oddshark was hiring, and I went in for an interview, and I was blown away because I didn't know a company like that existed. And I wasn't a big sports bettor at the time. I was a big time fantasy guy,
Okay.
but I was able to transition and learn about the world of sports betting. I took a lot of licks early on. Learned a lot of lessons, learned from my mistakes, hopefully. And I spent 6.5 years there. And now last week I started with a company called Vegas Insider.
Yeah, congratulations
Thank
on the
you.
new role with Vegas Insider. So excited to see that. June 1st, you started, right?
Yes, so I've been on the job for about a week and a day now.
They haven't scared you away. That's definitely a good thing. You've
No,
made it over that week hump.
absolutely, yeah. And it's been a great company to be with so far. It's a big company. Everyone's very welcoming. Everyone's very helpful. They're very excited for my ideas for over the course of the summer. And of course, the big build out will be ahead of football season. Over the course of the summer here, we're kind of laying the groundwork for my very own sports betting show, which I'm pretty pumped for. So we will launch that ahead of football season, likely late August. I would say it's going to have an emphasis on actionable betting info, of course, bets for that night's games, and just trying to have a little bit of fun. Tap into the entertainment side a little bit, and hopefully
Yep.
have some laughs along the way. So I'm pretty pumped for that.
Well, Joe, I'm so happy for you. Vegas Insider is an absolutely fantastic company. Seeing you land there just was a great thing to see. So your new
Yes.
show, it be 7 days a week, 5 days a week?
We're gonna go 5 days a week. We're gonna go Monday to Friday, and it'll probably be a midday type of show, probably airing right around this time. Hopefully, we
Okay.
still have to iron that out. We have the name picked out. I'm not gonna tell you what it is though, so we gotta
Stay
wait for
tuned.
that. But yeah, it's something we're gonna have a lot of fun with. I got two little kids, so I can't go 7 days a week. That's way too much for me
Yep.
because you need that time. You need the actual Sunday to book off to actually watch the football, right? So yeah, we'll go 5 days a week. And I'm pretty pumped for it.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Can't wait to hear the name come out for that show and what time you guys are going to be doing it. But Joe, let's talk some NBA. We
Indeed.
saw game 3 last night. The Boston Celtics able to get the win. Steph Curry looked in so much pain when he got fallen on. What are your takes from that?
Well, it kind of has the makings of a zigzag type of a series to me, kind of similar to what we saw with Boston when they took on the Miami Heat. They essentially took turns kicking each other's ass in that series, right? And of course, we had a pretty good game in game 7 at that series. But we saw in game 2, the Warriors looked fantastic on their home court. Then Boston came out, and it was pretty much a wire-to-wire win. They really laid the smack down, and they've been fantastic at bouncing back. But a couple of big takeaways for me, I guess, is people's are swayed too easily by one game with these things. And we saw that in the Miami Heat series where one team would look great, one team would look awful. Then they would switch roles in the following game. So as a result of that, I'm going to be on the Warriors +4 here for game 4. I think it's a good spot where they'll at least be able to keep it close. I think this does have the makings of a 7-game series. So I'll be on the Warriors in that one. The Celtics are fantastic at making adjustments. So this is something I've been tweeting out here over the past couple of weeks. So after last night, they're now 13-1 straight up and 12-2 against the spread after a loss since January 29th. And that includes a perfect 7-0 straight up and against the spread in the playoffs. So just absolutely fantastic in that spot. Now, that said, the Warriors are still a very good team, and I do expect them to bounce back here. So I will take them +4 in game 4. Now, the big story today coming out on Twitter, I didn't really realize it was going on last night, but the Warriors are doing a little bit of crying about the treatment that the Boston fans gave them.
Did see that.
We saw the Celtics fans give Kyrie a hard time in the opening round of that series. And I think it's pretty embarrassing for the Warriors to be crying about this. This is the highest level of the sport here, guys. And people often say like today's NBA players are soft, and them crying about this doesn't really do a whole lot to debunk that argument, does it? And it's also stupid that they're going out and doing this publicly, going on social media feeds and Klay Thompson, way to go, Boston, you're swearing in front of kids. Yeah. Do you not realize you're giving that crazy fan base more ammunition for game 4 on Friday night? So those fans are going to be even more fired up. So really stupid for Golden State to kind of put that out there, and pretty embarrassing in my opinion.
Yeah, super embarrassing. I couldn't believe what the fans are tweeting out and the Warriors as well. It's just one of those situations where don't you expect it walking into the enemy's building? Don't they expect that? Or are they expecting warm welcomes and hugs?
Well, this has been going on in pro sports for forever, and some fan bases are more savage than others. And you would definitely put the Boston fans into that category. And they're going to take every single edge that they can get. It's called home court advantage for a reason. Some teams have a true home court advantage. Some not really. I would put the Celtics in the category of absolutely having a home court advantage. That crowd in San Francisco is pretty damn good too. And I remember them calling LeBron James some names in the finals there a couple of years ago. So maybe a bit hypocritical of Klay Thompson and Draymond crying about the fans swearing at them.
Well, absolutely. It's like, how soft does our community have to get, our society overall? Are we going to get to the point where you can't make a noise watching a game? Like, where is it going to go?
Yeah, I mean, the fans buy a ticket, and, there are lines that you cannot cross. You can't get physical and stuff like that. And, yeah, maybe there is some gray area with, swearing and stuff because there are little kids there. But this stuff's been going on in sports forever. So the Warriors have to chill out a little bit on that.
Yeah, they absolutely do. It's not like on the football field where those players, 99% of them are not mic'd up. We can't hear anything that's going on. I'm sure it's way chippier out there.
Yeah, so in that regard, it's probably really hypocritical of Golden State to be crying about this.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got some great games on the MLB board today. Was there anything that you were looking at today, Joe?
Indeed. 2 spots that I like. So Dylan Bundy Day. Everyone who follows me knows that, I probably pick on Dylan Bundy a little bit. And this guy's been an incredible fade over the past, throughout his career, really. I think he started off half decently with Baltimore, but then everything just fell off a cliff. So Dylan Bundy Day, this is essentially, just almost an automatic fade. I never will blindly fade or blindly tail anything. You always want the stats to back it up. So I put this out on Twitter earlier. So Dylan Bundy Day has become a thing again. So the Twins have now lost 6 straight Bundy starts by 2 or more runs. So meaning if you took the other team on the -1.5 run line, you would have won 6 straight times. And he's got an awful matchup tonight. He's going up against Garrett Cole and the Yankees. Garrett Cole, he's earning all that money. People like to pick on Garrett Cole, myself included sometimes, but things are going pretty good for him. He's absolutely in Cy Young form right now. In addition to that, Yankees, they're smashing right-handed pitching. Their bullpen didn't look good last night, but overall the bullpen has been pretty sharp. So I'll take the Yankees minus 120 in that situation. I kind of like that they lost badly last night, so maybe you do have a little bit of motivation. I don't think you really see that motivation factor as much in baseball as you would in other sports, just because they play so many days. So maybe the motivation might be a little bit more consistent. That's just a guess. So I kind of do like that they lost last night, though, because you do think that they would come out wanting to get back on track. So I like the Yankees run line, and I'll go with Bundy's former team, the Orioles. I'll take them in the first 5 innings, minus 110 in Kansas City versus the Royals. So not a good starting pitch up here. It's Lyles versus Bubic. None of those guys will be contending for a Cy Young award anytime too soon. But I would say Lyles is better, maybe a little bit better than his ERA indicates. And this sets up very nicely for the Orioles offense. They've been smashing left-handed pitching. Very good versus lefties here lately. Very good on the road as well offensively. And they're taking on Chris Bubic, who's been a disaster. More walks than strikeouts on the season. He has an ERA of 9.33. So I'll play it a little bit safer. I'll take the Orioles first 5 minus 110. Both of these bullpens are god-awful too. But, like I said, I think I'll play it a little bit safer and take the Orioles first 5. And, just things aren't going well for Kansas City. I think people expected a little bit more from them this season. I don't think anyone's picking them to contend for a playoff position, but them and the Detroit Tigers off to very disappointing starts here.
Oh, absolutely. We look at Kansas City when they played Toronto. They got completely shut out in those first 2 games. Were able to pull it out in the third, but their bats have been so cold. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out tonight for sure in that one. But I like it. And I love the New York Yankees on that run line there. I think that's a great way to go with it, Joe.
Well, I don't love the Yankees themselves. I'm a Blue Jays fan, but
we don't love the Yankees. Love them on the run line. Love to make money with them.
I'm able to separate my heart from that situation. And the Yankees, like sometimes they'll see a team like the Yankees or whoever it might be. Like I remember everyone when Tom Brady was with the Patriots, whenever he bet on the Patriots, people would be like, oh, that's a square bet. Well, Brady was winning against the spread at a very profitable rate. And the same thing with the Yankees here. They are, I checked it yesterday, the second most profitable team in baseball after the Mets, actually. This was as of yesterday. Now, that might have changed as of today. But if you bet on every Yankees game this season, if you bet blindly, if you wanted to, you'd be up units on the season. So the Yankees are cashing here. And they've been a good run line bet as well. So I don't mind that spot in Minnesota tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Joe, as a Blue Jays fan, how do you think the rest of the season is going to play out for them? We know they had a slump there where their bats just couldn't hit anything, but we're seeing them offensively pick back up. Are you expecting a strong finish? I know we're nowhere near the finish, but what are you expecting at this point?
Yeah, I love what we've seen from the Jays over the past 2 weeks here. I wouldn't call it a disappointing start that they got off to. I would call it an underwhelming start, though, especially offensively. But Romano's been super sharp as the closer. I know Gausman wasn't so good his last time out, but he's been worth every penny. Manoah's looked good. If we could get Bo Bichette going, playing at an all-star level, that will be fantastic. Vladdy Jr. is starting to pick it up here again. And the Blue Jays, I don't think they'll be afraid to make a move at the trade deadline, too. They should be in contention. If the season ended today, they'd be in the playoffs. Now, I'm a realistic fan, though. And a lot of people, coming into the season, I think the Jays had the best odds in the American League to win the pennant and to win the World Series, the second best odds in all of baseball. But I'm a realistic fan. So it's not World Series or bust. If the Blue Jays can make it to the ALCS, this is a very young team. So I'd be very satisfied with that. And it would be something great to build off of. They had a great season last year and didn't make the playoffs despite having that great run differential. But if they can get into the playoffs and make a little bit of noise and win a series or two, I'll be very satisfied with that.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate you coming on the Joe Madden Sports Podcast. Can you let everyone know where to follow you on all social media, as well as anything else that you have going on at Vegas Insider you want to talk about?
Absolutely. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JTFOZ. And for all your betting needs, make sure you head over to VegasInsider.com, do some line shopping, find the best odds for the bet you want to make. And thank you very much for having me on. Good luck to yourself and good luck to all your viewers.
Thanks, Joe. Have a wonderful day. You guys, I will be back in the next 45 minutes with another Joe Madden Sports podcast. Bye, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you.